guys, Amy here from Plans Meet Paper, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about the calendar section of my planner. So this is my planner for 2021, and I do have kind of a broad overview video that I filmed, and I will link that down below so you can check it out if you missed it. But today I'm just going to be talking about the calendar section because that is kind of the meat and potatoes, the main part of my planner, and so I wanted to go into a little bit more detail about how I plan in my calendar section. So my first tab is my calendar, and basically what I've got going on here is I just have a year on two page insert just for reference. And then for 2021 I did decide to use monthly tabs just to make it really easy to find my monthly page throughout the year. And also that way I can just have my weekly pages right in the middle of my months and still be able to find everything. So for now I'm just using these white cardstock dividers that I made myself. I made these several years ago, so they are not fancy or particularly nice. They're just cardstock paper with lamination on top, and I don't have any nice fancy equipment. I don't have a silhouette or anything like that, so I just made them on my computer and then cut them out with scissors. So they're a little rough around the edges, but they're working for now, and if I really like having these monthly tabs, I probably will invest in a nicer set of like some frosted plastic ones off of Etsy, but I just wanted to make sure that it's really going to work for me before I spend any money on it. So that is what I've got for my calendar section, and I'm just going to show you January to kind of give you an idea of how I actually plan each month and each week. So I've already laid out most of January for 2021, and so I've got my to-do list up here on the top. This is my monthly page. So I've got a monthly grid, and then on the back side of that I have dot grid for both the front and the back. So on this front page I like to have just my big monthly to-do list where I kind of write down what projects am I focusing on for the month, what are kind of big tasks that I have to get done that month, and anything else that I need to make sure I remember to do. And then I also have a little section here for my business, for Plans Meet Paper, where I can write down any inserts I want to post or videos I want to film for that month as well. So that's the first thing that I do. And when I'm writing that to-do list, I like to take the time to think about any appointments that are going to be coming up. Do I have to do something ahead of those? So for a dentist appointment, for instance, we just switched dentists, so I had to make sure I got my release of records done. So that would be something I'd put on the to-do list. Any work that needs to be done before an appointment, I want to make sure I've got listed here. I like to check my home projects page, which I've got in a different section of my planner. I like to just look at this home projects page and see if there's anything I could pull from there to get done this month. I like to think about any projects I want to do for my kids. So if there's new activities that I want to make for them or set up for them, I like to add that here. Also Shutterfly. I use Shutterfly for all of my memory keeping. So I've got a project page there, and I pull tasks off of that to do each month. I think about Plans Meet Paper tasks, Plans Meet Paper videos, and I like to just kind of check in with my goals as well to make sure that I am doing things that correspond with my goals for the year. So that's how I set up that first dot grid page for my monthly grid, my regular old calendar. I do write in these in advance, so I usually have like birthdays and holidays and any other like important events that have been on the calendar for a long time. I already have those written in. So then each month I just add in some other things when I'm actually planning. So I make sure I've got all the holidays, and I also like to make sure I take a look at any birthdays and holidays for the next month, because sometimes, you know, you'll have somebody's birthday right at the beginning of the month, and so I want to make sure I'm thinking about it in advance if I need to get them a gift or anything like that. I like to make sure I write down when I need to give my dog his medication. I need to write in when I need to pay bills or check my bills. I write in when I want to plan for the following month. So I tend to like to do that on Tuesdays if I can. So I write that in so I make sure I get it done before the month starts. And then budget check-ins, I would like to always make sure I'm checking my budget at least a couple times a month, so I write those in. And also my zone cleaning zones, I tend to put those over here in the notes column so that I can refer to that throughout the month, what zone I'm in for cleaning. On the back side of the month, I'm just using this dot grid page to write notes. So if I have an appointment or something, I'll just jot notes there. And then sometimes I'll move them if I need to keep them for longer term, but it's just a general notes page for the month. For my weeks, I do go ahead and date my weeks for the whole month in advance. And that's just to make it more convenient. If something comes up and I need to write it in and it's going to take more space than just this monthly calendar will fit, then I can actually write it on the week ahead of time. Again, I'm not real particular about decorating. I don't tend to use stickers or anything like that. I just write things in with a black friction pen, which is erasable. So that way, you know, I don't lose track of anything. I can go ahead and write it right on the page, and if it changes, I can erase it, but it's not going to get lost in kind of the translation of writing it on different sheets of paper. So I hope that makes sense. And for my weekly planning, I've got a lot of videos where I show my weekly plan, so you can look back in my channel if you want to see those. But I just use a week on one page with notes page on the other side. And on my notes page, I have a to-do list, and then I have my dinners. And on my to-do list, I tend to just write everything I need to get done that week. I don't separate it out. I've just put my work tasks, my cleaning tasks, my personal things, everything that could have to get done that week. I just spit it out right there on the paper, and then I kind of make it more organized and categorized when I make my daily pages. But this is just like a big running to-do list for the week. And same thing with my dinners. I just write down all the dinners that we're gonna have ingredients for. I don't plan which day they're gonna be eaten on because you never know if something will come up and you need to make a faster dinner one night or vice versa. So I just tend to write them all out, and then in the morning or the night before I will choose which one I'm going to make each day. So I hope that makes sense, and I just have that set up for the whole month of January so far. And then once I plan for February, I'll go ahead and date those pages. So I do have all of my months in here for the whole year. And then I just have my weeks in here for the first quarter. So I just have them for January, February, and March. One thing that you will see is, here's March, for instance. As I mentioned, I do date my calendars ahead of time, and I also write in events and birthdays ahead of time and holidays. But the other thing that I do is add things to my monthly to-do list ahead of time. So for instance, in March, I want to think about whether or not we want to have an arborist come out and look at our trees because we had some trees that had some issues last year, and I want to make sure we get that taken care of before spring fully hits. So we might schedule an arborist sometime that month. Since it's nearing the end of winter, we might get our windshield replaced for one of our cars. And then also I want to start working on shutterfly gifts for Mother's and Father's Days. Since Mother's Day is in May, I want to start in March if I can, just so I can get it done ahead of time, get it ordered. Even if it takes a couple weeks to come in, I should have those gifts in my house well before the holiday happens. So I want to start working on those this month. And then also, since March is the last month in the first quarter, I need to write my quarter 2 goals sometime during March. So I do tend to plan to-do lists ahead of time as well, if there are things that need to be done on a specific month. So June didn't have anything, neither did July, but August I already have a few things written down, so on and so forth throughout the year. And that is my whole calendar section. It's just my year section, my months, my weeks for the whole year. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit more detail on that first section in my planner. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below, and I'm happy to chat with you down there. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.